Now, let us prepare our hearts and minds for a time of meditation. I invite you to find a comfortable place in your seats. Close your eyes if you wish, and take a few deep breaths. Let go of any distractions or worries that might be on you.
In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is love. There is love. In the stillness of this moment, there is love. There is love. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is love. In the stillness of this moment there is peace. In the stillness of this moment there is love.
In the stillness of this moment, in the stillness of this moment, I breathe. In the stillness of this moment, I am love. In the stillness of this moment, I am peace. In the stillness, I am the breath, breathing in, breathing out. In the stillness, continuing the focus on the breath, the breathing in, the breathing out, the breathing in of peace, the breathing out of peace. Peace. Peace flows through me now. Breathing in, breathing out. Peace. Peace flows through me now. On this day, I rest. I relax. I refresh. I renew. Peace. In the stillness, peace flows through me now. In the stillness, I am love. In the stillness, love flows through me now. Love flows through me. I surrender to it. I surrender to that love, to the love of God, to the love of the universe. Love. I am love. I am peace. Breathing in and breathing out. In the midst of love and in the midst of peace. In the midst of all that is divine. In the stillness now. I know I am divine. I am a divine being, made in the image and likeness of Source, of the Creator, of God. I am. I am love. I am peace. In the stillness now, in the silence now, I am. I am. In the stillness, in the stillness, I am peace. I am love. I am the breath, breathing in and breathing out, breathing in and breathing out, and beginning the journey back to this now moment. I bring back that stillness with me. I bring back that peace. I bring back that love. I bring back me. For I am. Taking in a deep breath now and holding it for just a moment and slowly exhaling it. And as we do, the fingers move and the toes move and the eyes slowly begin to open. One more final breath in and exhale. And thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
I will leave this world as it is and go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. Go inside to find my God. Go inside to find my God.
The music ministry of David Trolley. Thank you, David. That was beautiful. Thank you. Isn't that what we're doing this morning? We're taking time to go inside and find my God, to take some time and go into the stillness, to take some time to be peaceful, to be in the midst of love. The Sabbath, a holy day, a time to renew the Sabbath. I invite you to start to think about, let's take a Sabbath together. Let's get back to making Sunday the Sabbath, like we remember when we made Sunday the Sabbath. What's your Sabbath look like? Let's take a look at that as we move through this Sunday morning. But I wanted to just remind you of a couple things. It's the holiday season's coming. We've got a lot going on, starting with the gratitude circle. I believe that the gratitude circle is going to be inside this year and not outside. So I wanted to mention that just so that you know. And also excited to tell you that, as I've said before, our theme for next year is the quest for wholeness. And we're going to be starting the Tuesday book studies out with book study with the book by Robert Brummett, The Quest for Wholeness. And I was finally able to reach Robert, and he'll be joining us on Sunday in January. I think it's the second or third Sunday after the White Stone ceremony. And he'll also be at the first book study. So it's a chance to meet Robert Brummett. So I hope you'll join us for that. Well, and you know, there's this minister that he was into fishing. And he was fishing for his sermon. I mean, I've been there. I've gone fishing for a sermon when you think you know what you're going to talk about, or you think you have a topic and it's not the right one, so you go fishing. So there was this minister that loved to fish, and so one Sunday he announced to his congregation, "Next week I plan to preach about the sin of lying. So in preparation for my sermon, I want you all to read Mark 17." Well, the following Sunday, the minister asked how many people had read Mark 17. Nearly every hand in the congregation went up. Smiling, the minister said, "Well, there is no Mark 17. Now, let's talk about the sin of lying." And, well, yeah, that was good. I thank you, Steve Chicago. Steve's giving me a thumbs up. It was a good joke, but the joke is, well, I have to tell you, the joke was on me. The joke was on me this past week. Well, I thought I was going to pull a joke on Mary Lindsay. Mary Lindsay, our quiet administrative assistant, sort of behind the scenes, who's not really so behind the scenes with me. We're busy together. And so this ad popped up on Facebook or someplace that said, "Boss's Day is coming. Get one of these fabulous gifts for your boss." So I forwarded that off to admin at unityofdavis.org, to Mary Lindsay, giving her a little reminder, if she wants to send the boss a gift, she could. Well, on Boss's Day, don't I get a package from Amazon in the mail? And in it is this wonderful candle. And on it, it says, "I think having me for an employee is gift enough, but I got you this candle anyway." The joke is on me. You see what I have to put up with our administrative assistant? I'll tell you. Well, let's stop for a minute. I want to, how are you doing with everything that's going on? Oh my God. There's so much going on. I mean, I've been talking with a lot of you in individual gatherings and in groups and on Zoom and in person. And I mean, the election, the news media, what's truth and what's not truth? Well, what's the opposite of what was just said on this station? And oh my God, what's really going on and what isn't? The Middle East, Ukraine, hurricanes, climate change. So many times over the last 4.5 years, we've been in situations together. We started a situation together, the pandemic, and we moved through that. We moved through tumultuous times. We moved through an insurrection together. We moved through all kinds of things together. So let's move together through all that's going on now. Let's remember that we're a community and that we support each other and that we have chaplains and there's me, and let's also remember that we need to take a rest sometimes. We need to, well, we need to take a break from manifesting, from creating. The daily word today was create, and I was going to talk about creating, and I thought, oh, the daily word's created. Let's stop and look at what we're creating in this human experience. That remember that what this human experience is all about is expressing as God, that we are an expression of creation. We are an expression of God. We are an expression of this universe. We are one with the universe. We're constantly in the midst of the creative process, a process that's been happening since the beginning, a process that's been happening since the beginning. And so let's go back to the beginning for a minute. Well, my mind, when I thought of creation, of course, went to the Bible, to the creation story in the Judeo-Christian denomination, well, and actually in the Muslim denomination too, the creation story, all all groups, all cultures, all tribes had a creation story. There's books about creation story, beautiful creation stories. Our creation story, however it came about years and years and years ago, in the Jewish denomination, in the Jewish people, in the people in Israel, in the people who are very prominent in the world today, in the world news today. A creation story came about. I don't know when or how or what they were doing or what was going on, but it starts out saying, and I also want to mention that I was talking with a couple of you about Bible versions the other day, and I mentioned the George Lamsa Bible. I think it was at the tithing team meeting. And so I went to the Lamsa Bible to look up Genesis 1:1, that God created the heavens and the earth in the very beginning. In the very beginning. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. The divinity of all, the divinity that we are, it moved upon the face of the water. Isn't this a beautiful creation story? And God said, the Creator said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw that the light was good. And God separated the light and the darkness the first day. So remember, when with everything that's going on, let's separate the light from the darkness. Let's really take a look at what's going on, what we're thinking, what we're feeling, what's going on in our life, and let's separate the light from the darkness and see the difference in that. And know that we can deal with the light and the darkness, that it's just the first day, it's the beginning. And then we read that God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And there was evening, and there was morning, and there was the second day. So, I mean, we're seeing light and darkness, night and day. We're seeing going deeper in that separation of the land and the water. We're separating the waters now. We're really getting into what's going on, and we're looking at what's right thinking, what's error thought. We're looking at what we feel and what we don't feel, what we don't want to feel. And so let's separate that out. And then the earth brought forth vegetation, the herb yielding seed after its kind, and the tree hearing fruit within is its seed after its kind. And God saw that the tree bearing fruit and the seeds and the planting and the growing, and God saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, and there was the third day. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the smaller light to rule the night, and the stars also. And there was the evening, and there was the morning, and there was the fourth day. And God didn't stop there. God continued creating, just like we do. God continued manifesting what we continue to express in this human experience. And then God said, let the waters bring forth swarms of living creatures, and let fowl fly above the earth in the open firmament of the heaven. Let fowl fly, let the birds fly, let fish and animals and birds. Then God said, after there was morning and evening, and the fifth day concluded, God said, let the earth bring forth living creatures after their kind, the cattle and creeping things, and the beasts of the earth after their kind. And it was so. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let man have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over the wild beasts of the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. And God said, give them dominion, not give them power, not give them the right to be unwilling, not to take war upon, not to have, well, God gave them dominion to take care of, to nurture, to bring forth the love of God, to take dominion over ourselves, to take dominion over the planet. And there was morning and there was evening and there was the sixth day. And that's the end of Genesis 1. And the first verse 1 of Genesis 2, thus the heavens and the earth were completed in all their vast array. By the seventh day, God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day, he rested from all his work. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done. He rested from all the work of creating that he had done. Are you resting after creating? Are you stopping and taking a break? Are you in the midst of all that's going on? Are you stopping the driving and the writing and the calling and the worrying and the watching the news and the this and then that? Is today your Sabbath? Is Sunday your Sabbath? When is your designated Sabbath? If today's your Sabbath, what have you planned for the rest of the day? Oh, to end this service and get up and get in the car and drive here or there, or start making phone calls, or going right into the kitchen and preparing a big meal. What are you planning for the rest of the day? I've got a wonderful Sabbath plan today, and I didn't even plan it. It happened. Doing the service, and then I'm going to take my usual walk, and then the chaplains and I have a chaplain meeting, and we're going to continue our Sabbath there, and then there's a short break, and then I'm going to be on Zoom with this group of wonderful people that are rehearsing for the Christmas play that's coming up on December 8th. It's a great day. Do, do you have a ritual that feeds and renews you spiritually? Are you going to just stop the business of day to day and all the things we tend to fill ourselves up on every day, that you don't set any time specifically to rest? I know that you've all been manifesting and creating and expressing. When are you going to step back and say, I've been created, I've created, and now it's time to rest? Martha Creek talks about Sabbath. Martha Creek will be back in November on Sunday, and we're doing the book study by Martha Creek. And her monthly newsletter caught my eye back in October, and because it was big bold letters Sabbath, and Martha starts out by saying that if you make wholehearted decisions, they provide the less need for rest. When we make wholehearted decisions, when we've stopped and we've gained our strength and we allow ourselves to look at the decisions that come up, the decisions that we're facing, because that's what's really going on in the world. We've got decisions we have to make, and we're all making decisions, and we're worried that our decision won't get made the way we want it to get made, or somebody else, But Martha says that I am also aware that rest is not the antidote to exhaustion. That the antidote for exhaustion is actually wholeheartedness. Wholeheartedness. Feel that. Feel the word. Can you feel it? Wholeheartedness. Wholeheartedness. Wholeheartedness, this includes providing honest yes and honest no responses to the myriad of opportunities that come across my journey. Martha says that she knows when she begins to feel depleted and cannot quickly renew with a good night's sleep, that I have left myself, that I've left my own integrity, and I have some amending to self to do. Martha's saying that if I'm feeling myself go over the edge, if I'm short in my responses, if I'm not getting that good night's rest that I need to move through the day, if I'm losing my appetite, if I'm not taking care of pain, if I'm not paying attention, if I'm out of integrity with myself, I need to stop and I need to make amends to myself. And guess what? Ourselves are very good at allowing us to make amends to ourselves. That we can stop and make amends and begin to go forward, taking care of ourselves, taking a rest, renewing ourselves, not working until we're ready to fall. Martha says, create a Sabbath for yourself. Let's make Sundays our Sabbath or whatever day you want. Martha says, a couple ways to do this, to create Sabbath for yourself. Rest before you get tired. Working until you crash is an easy default. When there's a lot to do, it's easy to keep going as long as you have the energy. It can be difficult to wrench yourself away from the computer when you still feel like working, but it is healthy to have defined the limits that are determined by objective plans more than by moment feelings. In other words, plan your day and work your plan, and don't get caught up in the emotion of I've got to keep doing this. I've got to post one more thing. I've got to send another email. Email will be there. Stop. Sabbath rest actually requires discipline and intentionality. Thank you, Martha. Sabbath rest requires discipline and intentionality. But paradoxically, she says that rest is hard work for her. Rest is hard work for her. Is rest hard work for you? It can be hard work for me. I have to be intentional about my rest. I really do. And when I do rest, when I do set that intention, I feel so much better. I'm ready to make decisions wholeheartedly from love and integrity. She says, have a rhythm to your rest. Set aside regular portions of the day, of your work, of your routine, and put them on your schedule, put them in your mind that I have a certain time to rest and I'm going to stick to that. I'm going to stop. I'm going to get up. I'm going to rest. Working at home as much as I do, and a lot of you spend time doing things at home on an ongoing basis during the day, it can just keep going. And I have to say, stop. I go in the kitchen and cook something, and it changes the whole environment. It relaxes. It makes me look at it differently. And the one thing that I never do when I'm going to rest is turn on the TV. Believe me, I'm not going to turn on the TV. I'm not going to watch the news. I'm not going to see what's going on. Going to the phone and flipping through the news isn't a change isn't rest. Don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. Have a rhythm to your rest. When you are resting, rest, Martha says. It's easy to think during our day off, I'll just respond to this one email that came in on my phone or my watch while I was resting. I'll just respond to this one email. It'll only take 30 seconds. I'll click the phone. All right. But there's something healthy about having space that's truly blocked out for rest. However long it is, you know how long you need. take the time you need to rest, to take a break, to you can bring your Sabbath to you in the midst of that rest. You can bring the knowing that you and God are one for just that time that you decide to rest. Even in the thought of resting, you can bring that Sabbath to you. And Martha makes a specific point of saying, rest from social media and other electronics as well. We've talked about this. And lastly, and I think this is great advice from Martha, find a hobby. Find a hobby. Do you have a hobby, or are you spending all your time doing, working, busy? Do you have a hobby? I, you know, I recently picked up the improv classes that I'm going to. Uh, I am in beginning improv now, or no, I'm sorry, I'm in intermediate improv. I've finished beginning improv. I think I'm going to take intermediate again, though. I think I need to. And but it's made a difference. It's brought change into my day-to-day. I ushered at the improv last night, and several people that I met in class were there, and they saw me in my usher gig, and we chatted, and it's become a hobby. And it gives me a break from creating. I'm still creating, I'm always creating, but I've taken a break. I'm getting some rest. So I want to invite you to think about practicing Sabbath, to define Sabbath for yourself. Define a Sabbath day, a time. Stick to it, especially right now. And I also want to remind you that, again, as I said at the beginning, we are a community. I'm available, the chaplains are available, each other are available. This community expresses divine love. Don't hesitate to reach out in the midst of all that's going on. Don't try to do it alone. Reach out. Have a good Sabbath. Thank you.